You can see where this is good exercise, sort of. Visibility wise.
Okay, so let's talk about the Isle Switch Pro. This is my second paddleboard that I've used from Isle. The first one was the original Switch. And so we're gonna see what the differences are between this, and we're gonna get it out on the water and test it, because it's got one super cool feature, and it's got one other feature that probably makes this a little bit different than most other inflatable paddleboards on the market, which is exactly why I like it. Now, just like the last time, Isle did send this to me for free. I do have to send it back eventually, they said. Right now, the plan is I'm going to use this a good bit through the summer. Obviously, we're going to use it on some lakes around here. We're going to use it hopefully on the Ohio River down in West Virginia. I have some skinny water fishing that I want to do with it. And I'm also going to take it to the beach and use it to do some inshore fishing on the Outer Banks. Let's get it opened up. Ooh. Oh no, that's not what I think it is. The color is nice bright orange on this one. This is an integrated seat and foot pedal. So this is one of the things that makes the Switch a little bit different. With the seat on it, it sort of functions like a kayak. You can sit down, the foot pedal gives you nice bracing so that you can paddle with it. And when I was in Florida, that's how I used it the entire time. Probably the fin accessories in here. But this is part of why I'm looking forward to taking it to the beach. You know, really, it packs down into this one bag. So it's real easy to transport. It's not like a 12-foot kayak where you've got to have a truck or something where you can strap it to the roof. This you can just pack in the back of the car, put it in your trunk. We'll put it in the back of my wife's Jeep, and it'll be real easy to take on vacation with us. A couple other cool features. The bag has rollers on it, so it's real easy to move around. You know, as far as you can just roll it right like this. But if you need to take it a little bit further, it's not the easiest thing to backpack, but it does have the straps so that you can do it. You know, so if you really want to backpack this thing, you can. And that comes in handy when you have places that you can't roll it into real well. Just opened up, straps on the side. These are the times when I kind of wish my wife was here, because she would remember exactly how all this stuff was strapped together. I, however, probably will not. So we can see that inside here is some of the other accessories. So this is probably the pump here. And this is the paddle. Looks like those start at the front. So basically put that stuff across the front and roll it up when I want to pack it back up. Move this out of the way. Kind of forget how long 12 feet is when it's rolled up the way it is. You know, this paddleboard is 11'6" long, but it's almost 3 feet wide. That makes them extremely stable. For somebody like me, who at times has balance problems, regardless of what happens, I'm going to switch to. Oh. I'm looking forward to trying this out. Did not try to stand up on the paddleboard in Florida, mainly because of the gators. I just wasn't gonna mess with them. So today, we're gonna get this inflated. We're gonna head out on the water. And one of the main things I wanna test out is how easy is it for me to stand up on it. So let's get it inflated. Unpack the pump. I tell you what, they told me this was a demo model, but everything looks absolutely brand new. So this only goes in there one way. That's pretty cool. Screw installed for faster inflation. Oh, these are the handles. Cool. So these screw in this way to give you a little bit more leverage. Now this should say deflate and inflate. See, it says right here on the thing, inflate. So we want to attach this on this side, like so. That screws on really fast. And then from there, we should just run this for a while. This would be a good time to do a time lapse. Okay, need to take a break. Oh, this isn't that hard. I'm a little out of breath. I'm working up a sweat. Isle does have an electric pump, and right now for the Memorial Day sale, a lot of their paddle boards, including the Pro, I think, if you buy it before Memorial Day, before the sale ends, you get a free electric pump. And normally I'm like, it's not that big of a deal, until you're sitting here pumping it up. And then it's like, okay, that might be pretty cool just to sit here and have some water while it does the work for you. As we get closer to getting this filled up, there's a gauge here. And you want to have it in the green area towards the early. How dare they interrupt my video? So I'm going to put it right at the middle, actually. I'm going to put it right at 15 PSI. And if you look, you can stop and it just holds it for you. So it's not like so we're at 5 right now. Time for another quick break. Last push. Almost there. Okay. There we go. Now I just disconnect this. And that goes in place. One really nice feature that wasn't on the old Switch is this looks like a 1/4-20 bolt mounting spot. I should be able to mount my Insta360 or my GoPro right here in the front. It also means you could probably mount a fishing rod holder of some sort if you wanted. The deck material on the Switch Pro feels a little bit more aggressive in a good way. That also feels nice. If you've never been on an inflatable paddleboard, if you were like I was at first, I was sort of like, oh, this is going to be like being on a raft or something. You know, like those old rafts you used to use as a kid at the beach or whatever. But this thing is solid. I mean, it feels like the hard foam surfboards. Maybe just a slightly softer texture, but it's got that same rigidity. But here's one of the huge benefits. This thing only weighs 20 pounds, right? So it's real easy to pick up and move around. This is the other really cool feature, which we'll get to in a second. First, I'm going to put the fin on and then load this into the truck. Comes with a repair kit, which is cool. This should be the fin. Yep, and they got the fin mounting instructions, which, let's see if they're the same. Yeah, this confirms that this is definitely a new one. This isn't even open yet. Okay, let me see what this says here. Click in instructions. It says add a second locking disc for a more secure fit. So basically just have to insert the brass pin into fin box track, slide forward and press firmly and slide back. So we'll see. I remember that this was a little tough to get in before. So this goes in this way. Oh, so much better. Now, putting this in the truck versus putting the kayak in, completely different process. So much easier. Okay, so I mentioned the other cool feature are these little mounting pads right here. These are power pole mounting brackets, and while I guess you could mount a power pole to it, the real reason they're here is to mount a motor. That's right, this can take an electric motor. So I have here the Bixpy power pole mount along with the pole, and we're going to figure out how to get these mounted on here. Maybe I shouldn't be using a knife around the inflatable paddleboard, but okay, so basically that's just going to mount right on there like that. It's pretty straightforward. Now it does say don't over tighten these. So you've got these studs here, right? And if I read on the thing, specifically it says use only 1/4-20 fasteners, ensure fasteners are proper length for application, do not over tighten. Because this is inflatable, and if you over tighten it, they're going to go down into the board, which we don't want at all. So it's got to be, we've got to run them in to some extent, but I think that's probably, I would think that's good enough. Just waiting until I get some resistance. So, yeah, I think it basically just goes right on like that. This has to go on this way. And that's on there. Just get the little crescent wrench so we don't over tighten anything here. I don't know for sure, but I think because with this part sticking in here, it seems like it wants to hit this piece where this allows it to fit up higher. So I'm going to assume that this is the way we want this. Okay. Yeah, and actually, and this has the eyelet right here to tie the motor to, or to tie the cord to rather, not the motor. It looks like they also provide a cleat in the bag, but obviously on a inflatable, we're not going to put the cleat in there. So let's put these things in here too. Now this cord ties on. This just connects on like this, so you can pull it from up here and pull the motor up, and then hold it in place. The last little piece that they sent is this pole steering system. See if this takes too much to figure out. If I gotta go look anything up, or I'll be honest right off the bat, this is not obvious to me how to get this in. And also, it doesn't have the pole, so maybe I'll have to grab a pole off of one of my brooms or something in here for now. It does have this, so we'll scan this and see what it says. There we go. Yep, we got all that stuff. Okay, so we want to insert this adapter to the arm. It is a lock nut. Honestly, a socket would be faster on this one. But I've got the crescent wrench here. Tighten nut, already did that. Fasten arm to pole using zip tie. Really? Okay, so the piece I was missing is this has to line up with this right here. So this hole has to line up here. Right now that means it would be left-hand steering, and I think I'd rather have it right-hand steering by default. So I got to cut this off. Flip this way, and really this zip tie appears to maybe just be a temporary type thing to hold it in place, because then you get, put this on, it slides down in here in between these. And now for this, I am going to go get my 10mm wrench. Okay, there we go. That should give us steering. There we go. And really one of the last pieces of this is just installing the motor. This one comes up this way. Let me see what they recommend. Okay, so after that we just screw the motor on with these 4 screws right here. Not that big of a deal. And I guess the last step of all this is get some of these packing materials off of here. Get that off of there. Close up the charging port. Now from here, put this on, activates that. Okay, this is already set. Let's see. Seems to work. And reverse works as well. I think with that, it's a little hot. My hat's soaked, I've been sweating. Did take a little break to talk to the neighbors, but I think now I'm going to go grab a little bit of lunch, and then maybe we'll run out to the water and we'll give this a test. A cool thing on this pole, it tells you basically where to set it up. It's got all these little marks. So it tells you based on your height where to set this up. So all you do is you just pull this back this way, slide this in, line it up, and there you go. You're ready to roll. Which means you can also break it down for travel. And it also comes with a second part of the paddle in case you want to do kayaking.
Okay, I think this is full speed. I think they turn pretty nicely. I don't know. The motor's quiet. I'm sure you can hear it, right? But it's not that bad. Steering is very sensitive. Just using the little pole here, turn it, and it feels very stable. That being said, I'm still going to find a spot to go into some shallow water before I actually try to stand up on it for the first time. So it's 12:30 now. I would guess that I'm not going to be out here long enough to actually use up all the battery. Now as I scoot forward on it, definitely makes a little bit more noise. If I scoot back, get the bow up a little bit. I mean, this is actually pretty impressive. Okay. Now, as shallow as it is here, I didn't even think about the motor, and it seemed to come in just fine. So it must hang about, I didn't look, but it probably hangs around the same level as the fin. Honestly, I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to be brave enough to try to stand up with all my gear on the top, even though it's sort of lashed down or not. So I'm kind of in shallow water, so I might as well give it a try. actually, it's surprisingly easy to stand up. Now whether I stay standing up or not is another story. I feel like I probably need to be a little bit closer to the front. Yep. Probably should have studied up on this a little bit, but I don't think I want my legs to be. Okay, I can stand up. I just can't get the leverage to actually. You guys know how my balance is. Let's try this one more time. It looks like I picked up somebody's fishing line here on my foot. So let's try one more. So I'm right in the center. Now if I stand up, there we go. I can see where this is good exercise, sort of. Visibility wise, it's pretty nice. But I tell you what, with my balance, I got to pay attention. My biggest fear is I just don't want to dump all the gear, even though I think I have it all lashed down pretty well. But I mean, it's pretty stable compared to like the surfboards and stuff I've been on. Seems pretty nice. But with that, I'm going to sit back down. So with the wind picking up, having the motor on this is definitely kind of nice. I remember down in Florida trying to get back into the wind. The thing is I think I mentioned it before, I'm not entirely sure that this lake, I'm allowed to have any kind of motor on it. I didn't think about that when I came out here. This is the test lake. This is where I come out and just test stuff when I have no other real objectives of like catching fish or anything. Although if you didn't see the eclipse video, I caught a giant bass out of this lake back in April during the solar eclipse. Like literally, right around the time of the eclipse. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out. It's not like the haunted lake where there's trees all over the place and you got to worry about running into them. This one, I don't think there's much risk doing that.
Okay, hey guys, make some room. Come on. That's what we're doing.